Okay, we've got a pretty unique Ms. Pac-Man here. Well, I don't know how unique it is, but it's it has some unique characteristics. Let's put it that way. First of all, it is an original Ms. Pac-Man that's just in really good shape. It's what they'd call a survivor. It hasn't been, re-stenciled. It doesn't have like sticker side art that somebody printed on an inkjet. This is the original artwork on it. The blue has been touched up. The pink and yellow have not been touched up. That's just the way they are. They're original. And you probably know, if you've been looking at Ms. Pac-Mans or owned a lot of them, that pink fades really easily, so it's rare to find one that's still pink. They usually turn white because for some reason the color they used there just faded super easily. But both sides of this are still nice and pink. It still has the original marquee, not a repro, and it still has good color. Marquees faded just as bad as the side art did. I've got, back on my shelves here, I'll just show you. I've got so many Ms. Pac marquees that are faded. Well, I've got two sections of them. I think I've got a couple here that are still have the red on them. But then, what have we got? I think I'm in the wrong section. Oh, here we go. This is what they usually look like. Now that one still has some pink, but it's got other issues. See, this is another thing that would happen to Ms. Pac marquees. And this is really strange. It's like a disease they would get. This one's still nice and pink, but the plexi like grows this strange like growth on it, and it does not come off. There's nothing. You can't even scrape it off with a razor blade. But here's what they end up looking like after they've been in the sun. And it doesn't take very many days in the sun for that pink to completely disappear and turn white. So you can see here, I've got the vast majority of mine are white. But anyway, back to the game. So this is in really good condition, original. It also still has the original T-molding, which I don't know if anyone cares about that, but man, that's rare, because usually this T-molding is so chewed up and old and brittle that you've got to replace it, and I do normally, but this original T-molding is still in good shape, so I kept it. The bezel is almost perfect. It's got one little flaw right here in this corner, but that's an original bezel, not a repro. This is obvious. The control panel is not original. This is one of those new ones that plugs into the old harness, but it has a trackball added to it because I also put a 60-in-1 board in this so that you could play 60 classics. However, this also still has all the original hardware inside it, so you can switch it back to the original Ms. Pac board if you want. I'll get to that in a second, but let me show you the coin door. It's also all original. It's not dented up. It has never been broken into. Usually these are all dented right here because people would use a crowbar and bend this out, and then they could reach in with like a little wire and trip the coin switch for free credit. So these are usually all bent here. This part's usually bent up from where they pried in with a screwdriver. So that's still in really good shape. It's got a new lock on it. It's got coin mechs that work. It's got the original coin box, original wiring harness. Now let me show you in back. This is the interesting thing that I did, and I've never done it this way before, but I wanted to keep it original in case somebody really cared. So I kept the original Ms. Pac board in here with the daughter board, and that's a working Ms. Pac board. I'll plug it in here and show you. But then I just wired up my own custom adapter that adapts the harness for Ms. Pac-Man to the harness needed for the 60-in-1 board, and I mounted the new power supply and the new 60-in-1 board there. And then this is the wire to the trackball. But I did that so that I could leave all the original wiring intact, and if someone was a purist and wanted to go back to just original Ms. Pac, they could, all you got to do is unplug this connector here, plug it into the Ms. Pac board, and you've got Ms. Pac-Man. Now, of course, the 16.1 board has Ms. Pac-Man on it. It has fast and slow, as you can see. So you don't really need to do that unless you're a purist and you want to play it on an original board, or if you want to go for a world record run, you would have to do that on an original board, because I don't think they accept scores on the 16.1 board. I would just leave it hooked up to the 16.1 board personally, but now, if you're really a purist and you're like, well, yeah, but this isn't original, I want an original Ms. Pac control panel, I can include an original Ms. Pac panel. You just got to tell me, and I've got a few of them here on my shelf. Those are original panels. And they needs a new overlay, but I think I've got some new Ms. Pac overlays here. So if that's important to you, just let me know, and I will get a original Ms. Pac control panel and include it with this. But if it's not important to you, then let's not, and say we did. Okay, so what am I going to show you now? Yeah, let me plug in this Ms. Pac board and show you that that's working. So we'll unplug the game. Now all we got to do is pop this connector off. I don't know if I can do this one hand or not. Okay. And then just move it down here. Plug it in to the Ms. Pac board. Okay, there we go. I think I got it lined up right. And now plug her back in, and you hear the hum of a original Ms. Pac board. And now it's not booting, so let's just do this. Sometimes I might have jarred one of these daughter boards. Let's unplug it and plug it back in here. This thing would just want to prove me wrong, wouldn't it? Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, there you go. Original board. And now it's probably on coin op, so there we go. Coin switch. There you go. It looks like this is a, it's resetting. Probably just has a dirty connection on that connector, but anyway, you can see the board's working. Looks like somebody's got the speed up chips here. So it's an original Pac board with the speed up chips. And I guess if you really want the original board to have non-speed up chips, just let me know and I can put non-speed up chips on it. I'm sure I've got them around here. I'm going to have to set the phone down for this part. Oh, actually, we're done demoing this, so there you have it. Oh, by the way, monitor has been rebuilt by me, and it has a perfect picture. It has new fluorescent bulb and starter. Well, obviously, this is a new trackball, and all these controls are new because this whole panel's brand new. So that's about it. Oh, yeah. The only cosmetic issue with this cabinet is it's got some scratches here on this side right here. Unfortunately, somebody scratched it. But some people refer to that as patina. That's what I like to call it. So like I said, it's not perfect. This was actually operated for many, many, many years, this game, but it must have been in a pretty nice place, and it was definitely not in direct sunlight. So let me know if you have any questions. That's it. Thanks for watching.